I love video games! What a surprise! But you know what I also love? Working out! Nothing beats that feeling of going to the gym and putting your body through immense pain and suffering while having all the necessary equipment at hand. Gee, I hope the world isn't falling apart to the point where every single gym is closed due to very understandable health concerns. Fuck! Oh, if only there was a way which I could work on by myself! Of course! Ring Fit Adventure was the answer! Using video games as a means to work out is not a new concept. Microsoft had the Kinect, Sony probably has an interactive movie about working out somewhere, I don't know. And Nintendo had... The future is now, old man! But move those aside, because today I want to talk about Ring Fit Adventure. So where do I begin? I got this game in March 2020, when everything started to plummet. So I had no idea what to expect from it. The closest thing I could imagine was Wii Fit. So I opened the box, and all I get is a huge ring, a leg strap, and imminent physical pain. I think it's important to clarify that the only similarities Ring Fit and Wii Fit share is that both games are about doing exercise, and that there's a Wii Fit song in the game, but that's not really important. While Wii Fit focuses on using the player's weight with the balance board to do multiple activities, Ring Fit, as the name implies, makes the player hold an exercise ring while having a strap tied to their leg at all times. By attaching the Joy-Cons to these tools, they are capable of detecting our movements in real time. With this, we can take on multiple exercises called Fit Skills, which focus on different muscles, from your arms, your legs, the core. You get the idea. The variety ensures that there's something for your whole body. If you just want a good sweat, take on aerobics. If you want to test your strength, the game has you covered in that area. And some may ask, but hold on, Lewis, is exercise all this game is? If so, then I can just do it myself. That's a good point, really. But I believe there are good reasons as to why this game might interest you. Exercise is obviously the main focus, but to my surprise, this game is much more than that. The title doesn't lie, I'll tell you. There's a ring, there's fitness, and it is an adventure. And I mean that literally, as the game offers the player the opportunity to take on a quest to save the world with the power of exercise. Believe it or not, this is an RPG. The player will run across massive landscapes. How do you traverse them? By literally running. On their paths, they will encounter multiple monsters. How do you fight them? By taking turns and attacking them by exercising. And that's a really cool aspect about the game. It's an adventure that always puts your physical condition to the test. With just a few minor exceptions, everything you do here is affected by the movements of your body. When it comes to working out, it's only natural that one will feel that repeating the same exercises over and over can be annoying. But I have to praise the creative way in which Ring Fit does a respectable effort to prevent that from happening, thanks to its RPG elements. While basic in how they work, they do a great job in breaking the monotony. The entire adventure is divided into multiple stages. Between stages, you can detour a bit, visit towns and talk to people, help them out with their problems by doing side quests. If you are looking for something different, there are mini-games scattered throughout the world offering a nice distraction that'll keep you moving. If a stage is giving you trouble, you can prepare your own drinks that affect your stats, or use coins you have acquired to buy better equipment. Yet, when it comes to the stages, you won't be repeating the same routine all the time. While running, even if you're stuck on a linear path, the game may occasionally ask you to do something a little different to keep your attention. Maybe press the ring con to shoot air blasts to break crates that give you goodies. Maybe you'll have to fly through the skies by pressing into your abs. Or if you're the curious player, the game won't hesitate to reward you for taking a different path. And when it's time to battle, the different kinds of enemies help them to develop a bit differently, adding small strategic elements by giving them different colors. What does this mean? That if you use a red skill on a red enemy, you'll do much more damage so you can keep on moving. So it makes the player consider which skills will be more useful for the road ahead. And as they progress through the game, they will level up. More fit skills will become available to them, and thus more alternatives to play future levels. Or hell, don't want to play the main adventure? That's totally fine. You still have the option to make up your own workout routines to focus on specific parts of your body. Or my personal favorite, unwind yourself in the rhythm minigame. It's a great drive to motivate you to keep playing on multiple days, while at the same time you start to notice how slowly, but surely you get adapted to the exercise. However, don't think for a moment this will be a walk in the park. I mean, you can adjust the difficulty to your liking, which is neat. But even with that, the game can get pretty strict with its reps. You get instructions on how to do them properly, and the most efficient way to fight enemies here is to do them right. Strength, angle, technique, all of that counts towards the highest possible damage you can inflict. And here I'll tell you, yeah, there are ways to fool the game into making it believe you're doing it right. But when it comes to exercise, the only one you're fooling is yourself. On the flip side, that doesn't mean mistakes will always be your fault. I gotta say, we've come a long way with motion controls. I'm genuinely impressed at how precise the Ring-Con is. The way in which it detects the movements and strength you're applying to it is worth of merit. But that doesn't mean they are perfect. Some rougher movements can throw off your aim, making you constantly recalibrate the ring. And I swear, there were some exercises that just don't detect your movements at all. Is there a problem with my Joy-Cons? Am I doing them wrong? I don't think so. Really, I tried many different ways. I've done these exercises in the past, and even so, some of them, the leg ones specifically, were a nightmare to do simply because of how poorly they were detected. Every time I was required to do knee lifts, I would go, fuck! Because the game decided I wasn't doing them right for no reason. Okay, onto something more positive. I'm gonna take some time of the video to highlight the presentation in this game. I love it. The colors are bright, the environments are beautiful, and yet even though there's not any real world building, not like in It, let's be honest, I like how it's still a fun place to be in. Just look at the enemies. If you have gone to a gym, I'm positive you have seen these exercise tools before. The character design is exaggerated, but full of charm.
What?
I'm okay with that. And the game is not starving of great dialogue. And ooh, that soundtrack! At first it intrigued me because it gave me a lot of Splatoon vibes. It made me wonder if it was composed by the same team. And turns out I was partially right. At least one person who worked in Splatoon helped with the soundtrack in Ring Fit Adventure. And that shows because the music is pumping, lively, and so full of energy. I'm serious, give it a listen next time you work out. I'm sure it'll motivate you to perform better. I think that with all that has been said, we can be convinced that Ring Fit Adventure as a game does a very solid job in fulfilling its reason to exist, to be a fun time. But what about its other purpose? How well does it do its job as an exercise tool? I think that depends on who you ask. I'll use myself as an example. I've been doing exercise almost every single day for the past few years. At first it was simply something I will do to keep myself active, but as time passed, I made myself a goal. I want to be ripped! I've been working hard for many months trying to achieve that. And even though there's been results, there's still a long way to go, but I try my hardest to follow my routines and diets that will help me to achieve that. So if I had to classify Ring Fit, I believe this game falls more on the spectrum of doing exercise for the sake of keeping yourself active. That on its own is not a bad thing because, I mean, what's better? Laying in bed all day, being disgusted and angry at myself for doing nothing, or use that rage for my own benefit. Of course I wanna feel better with myself, and Ring Fit does the job of keeping one active. Even if it's not exactly the training I need, it fulfilled my desire to keep myself active during these challenging times, while at the same time it was giving me a fun time and it was motivating me to try for more. And not gonna lie, it was great doing exercises I wouldn't normally do at the gym, like yoga and aerobics. So cool, but what if the person in question is not particularly used to exercising? Well, I don't see any issue with that. When it comes to working out, anybody's more than welcome to try it. Ring Fit Adventure will help you to steadily get used to it, allowing you to get comfortable with the workout as it slowly pushes you to reach new heights. However, that is implying if you're willing to stick with it. If you're not sure if you can be consistent, then there's nothing I can tell you there. As I said, the game does a respectable effort in minimizing the boring aspects of working out, which is the monotony. Something that is achieved thanks to the RPG elements, a world full of charisma, over 30 different exercises, a healthy amount of minigames, and a progression system that rewards the players for their efforts and encourages them to train the whole body. It gives you all the basics you need to start the road to a healthier life, but the only one that can give you the final push is yourself. So well then, are you ready?